I was penalized at Portland, my first year on tour. I won the tournament, but Joe Black gave me the penalty, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. He said, Jack, he says, you could take as long as you want over the golf ball to play. He says, but be ready when it's your turn. And I always tried to stay out of everybody's way because I didn't want to bother anybody, go lining up my putt while they're lining up their putt. I felt like I was interfering with them, so I stayed back. I was a young kid coming on tour. I didn't want to start walking my yardages off, and I didn't want to bother somebody else. Well, you know, I took a while over the golf ball, but he says that was not the problem. The problem was being ready to play. And I realized after playing on the tour for a while that, you know, it's also a courtesy to the other players, to the field. And it's not fair to do that. And so we've all been through a little bit of it. Gary's been through a little bit of it. I don't think Annika's ever taken more than a minute. Of course, second, and Trevino's never even, I mean, by the time it's his turn to play, he's already on his backswing. And right?
I played very fast, and the reason for it is because we didn't pay green fees. We slipped on the course, and we tried to play as many holes as we could before we got caught.
Before you hopped over the fence. Now, I understand.
That's exactly
and that's
what
right.
Nancy knows what I'm talking about.
But they do have a problem on the tour today. Part of the problem, too, is that, you know, the golf ball has been part of that problem. The longer the golf ball goes, the longer the courses get, the more you have to walk, the longer it's going to take. And I don't think that's really good for the game. They've now brought this, bringing the golf ball back a little bit. I think it's a good start. It's the first time they've done that in ever. And so we'll see where they go with it. But the golf ball is part of that issue. Educating the players, and it's you know, it's got to be equitable. And but they need to really make an example and stay with it, because it's not very pleasant to watch somebody stand over the ball for half an hour or taking a half an hour. I think the caddies are part of the problem. I mean, you got the caddies are taking half the time. Well, the wind's coming out of here. You got to watch this here. See that tree over there? Well, now this here, on the back of the green, it slopes a little bit. I mean, by the time they get through talking, you know, I couldn't hit a shot anyway. It'd drive me absolutely out of mind. I didn't want a caddy to do anything about golf. I just wanted somebody to carry on my bag and get out of the way. And you know, that's sort of the way we were. But it's a problem.
And then you take them, you got to, you know, we play here today. We haven't played here for a year. One thing I'll tell you, we might not hold the putt, but we're not going to misread a damn putt. And here they got a book. They have 3 practice rounds, and then in the tournament they take out a book. I mean, I just don't understand it. And let me tell you, there have been some great, one of the greatest putters, Bobby Locke, that ever lived, maybe the best. Tiger, Bob Charles, Ben Crenshaw. You didn't see them taking out a book. They looked at the line and they got up and hit the putt. I mean, you've got to stop it. It just cannot go on like this.
Yeah,
I read the greens 50 yards from before I got there. If you look at a green, it's difficult to do when you're driving a cart. But when you're walking, if you look at a green from 50 yards and just keep staring at it while you're walking to it, you can see every curve on that green. And before you ever get there to read that putt, you know exactly the direction it's going to go in. Grain grows downhill. If the green is flat, generally grain will go towards the west, simply because the sun pulls it that way. But greens are not that difficult. I don't understand. They can putt. I don't care how much time they take. They can putt, man. They make a lot of putts.
Actually, I think it starts really at the junior level, you know. But it also, the juniors watch the pros, so they watch,